Vinsmoke Sanji is a character that is generally loved by the vast majority of One Piece fans. And to no one's surprise, I myself am part of that majority. After Whole Cake Island, an arc solely based upon Sanji, most fans thought that Sanji had officially peaked, and as Oda said himself, he would never be as cool as he was during this arc again. But with the introduction of Queen and his subtle ties to Judge, there was a sliver of hope. A chance for Sanji to complete his overarching character arc. Well, in today's video, let's talk about when Sanji officially broke away from Germa. What's up guys, Restless Gambly here, and in today's video, we'll be talking about our GOAT, Sanji. I did a Zoro video for Zoro vs King, so it's only fair if I did Sanji vs Queen. But with all that said, like always, make sure to like, subscribe, and watch until the end. For this, we'll start in chapter 10:15. 10 chapters before this, Sanji calls out to Robin for help and gets away from Black Maria. 7 chapters after that, we find out that Sanji is carrying Zoro. And so now we can enter 10:15. Upon hearing that Luffy has lost to Kaido, Chopper and the rest of the samurai are losing their morale. Sanji and 2 of the scabbers, however, are unmoved, and Sanji says that they're done for losing their will to fight. In the next page, since Chopper is just being a bitch like always, Queen says that he was just playing along and that now he's just going to die. Perospero at the same time lets off a volley of arrows to kill off the other samurai. As Queen is about to go in for a bite of Chopper with his robotic teeth, Sanji comes in through a wall. He finds Queen and turns him into a helicopter. But for this, you know what I gotta do. Chopper cries to Sanji about Luffy, but Sanji tells him not to cry and that they've seen this happen multiple times before. He kicks Zoro towards Chopper and says that he'd be worth around 10 men if he's fully recovered, but leave the dino to him. Some samurai look in shock, saying that they don't understand how he could keep on fighting even though his captain just lost, and Marco just says that that's the reason he likes them. After this, the next time we see Sanji is in chapter 10:16, but it's one panel. 10:17, we get to see a little bit of boxing. Otama converts some of the Beast Pirate troops towards their side using her Devil Fruit, and Queen gets mad, so he tries to shoot a laser beam at her. As he's doing that, however, Sanji appears again, kicking bro in the face, making the light beam explode in his mouth. Queen calls Sanji Judge's son again, and Sanji gets mad, telling Queen not to call him that. He infers that Queen was part of a research group with Judge, and it was right, but Queen views this as something in the past, but he's better now. Just as he says that, he enters his hybrid form to start boxing Sanji again. Sanji asks Chopper if he's holding up okay, because he noticed Chopper's baby Gramps form, but Chopper reassures that he should just focus on Queen. We move on to chapter 10:22, and the first thing we see of Sanji is him slumped on the floor because he was 1v2ing King and Queen. At the same time, Marco's bum ass is on the floor too. Sanji gets up from the dead and tells Chopper to get away with Zoro since the live floor is too crazy for him. Right after, he kicks Queen in the jaw. While he's fighting, Perospero comes back after getting flung by Sanji and tries to snipe him, only to get slashed in the face by Nekomamushi. The samurai are running away with Zoro, but then King appears in front of them. He engulfs his fist with flames to punch them. Sanji tries to get there, but Marco arrives there before him. Queen makes a funny remark talking about how these old ass Whitebeard pirates should just accept death already. As Marco is about to let off a beam to finish Marco off, Marco gives in, saying that he's done his part. It's time for the stars to take the stage. Bam! In a double spread, Zoro and Sanji attack King and Queen in unison, claiming that if they win this, Luffy becoming Pirate King will be in sight. King and Queen get up unscathed from their attack. Queen then assures that if Zoro and Sanji don't put their backs into the fight, they will not be able to defeat the likes of him and King. After all, the reason that they're called All-Stars is because of their unstoppable toughness. Queen lets off some laser beams, and while dodging them, Sanji grunts. Zoro notices this and asks if something's wrong. Sanji says that nothing is wrong, just that he felt a little off since he put the Ray suit on last time. Zoro then asks if he's just gonna hold him back, but then Sanji just assures that again, it's nothing, he's just feeling a little odd. As they have their usual banter, King tries to slice Sanji, but Zoro saves him, saying that Sanji owes him one. But right after this, Queen goes in for an attack at Zoro, and Sanji this time saves Zoro, saying that he doesn't owe him anything. Queen notices the flames literally appearing out of nowhere on Sanji's legs, and then says, "Whoa, ha 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 ha, I remember now, all of Judge's brats are enhanced, that bastard's crazy. That burning leg of yours is some kind of augmentation, right?" Sanji replies saying that he's an actual human unlike his siblings. Queen is then confused because there will be zero way for him to be able to just spawn flames unless he was a Lunarian like King. But Sanji insists that it's possible, and that is because his passions burn hotter than any real flame could, and he starts kicking at Queen again. We don't see much fighting from the two until many chapters later. In the chapter before Sanji's awakening, we get a panel showing that King's slashing attack that sent Zoro flying did nothing to Queen. But let's move on from that and enter chapter 1028. In this chapter, we see Queen going crazy on Sanji, letting off many different attacks while insisting that Sanji use his raid suit. Sanji gets hit with one of these attacks and then confirms that something is definitely off about his body. Queen keeps nagging him to put the suit on, but Sanji angrily refuses, saying that Queen doesn't understand what happened between him and the Vinsmokes. But he's not with that, so he lets off a black coffee. Sanji dodges and hits Queen with Bien Cut grill shot. Queen recovers immediately, and Sanji is generally frustrated at the fact that his kicks are too shallow to do lasting damage to him. Queen, on the other hand, is frustrated that Sanji won't use his damn raid suit, so he says, "Fuck it, I'ma rearrange your insides." Anyways, Queen shoots his neck out of his body and becomes a jumbo-sized snake, crushing Sanji. Fun fact, not even Masters of Conqueror's Haki can escape it. Anyways, the legs from his original body has a laser that Queen claimed would blow Sanji to bits. But instead of that, he blows himself up twice. He lets go of Sanji, but Queen assures that Sanji should be dead since he crushed him. Sanji isn't dead, but most of his bones are finished. He looks like a damn zombie walking on one leg. But all of a sudden, Sanji starts punching his body and it returns back to normal. Had he awakened his brother's abilities? As he thinks on, Queen pulls up behind him and takes the opportunity to slash at Sanji. Of course, Sanji doesn't notice that an attack is incoming, so then boom, he gets hit. But Sanji stands there, unscathed. The sword, however, has broken upon impact. Queen sees this and thinks that it couldn't even be Haki that allowed him to do that. So he mentions something Judge said. It was something about making humans more durable with an accelerated healing factor and enhanced physical strength, all topped off with hearts of ice. Sanji hears this and is shocked by this possibility, that he potentially will turn exactly like his siblings. And so with this, he runs away because he needs some time to think about what the hell is going on. Some beast pirates see Sanji running and try to shoot him, but the bullets literally bounce off of him. He scares the beast pirates away with a glare, but Queen continues to chase him. Next chapter, as we see a monster trio spread, we see Sanji kicking Queen, and we guess this means Queen was chasing Sanji and Sanji was fighting back occasionally to get away. But next chapter, that's when we see peak Sanji. The first scene we see is Sanji being told to get away because he allegedly injured a girl. But Sanji knows for sure he wouldn't do such a thing. It's something he would never do. And so he ends up in front of Queen. He has a little bit of a flashback to go over what had happened. He remembers being lost in thought and running into a geisha who tries telling Sanji that she's been brought to Onigashima but she's not with them. She asks Sanji not to hurt her, but then all of a sudden, she ends up on the floor, bleeding while having a horrified look in her eyes. And so with this flashback over, Sanji thinks to himself, "Hey Luffy, which version of me do you want around? My human side has always made me useless against female enemies, but as a soldier of science, I'd be able to coldly execute anyone you ordered me to. Even a beast like this would be easy to dismember. What kind of person does the Pirate King need by his side?" I'm not sure I know the answer, but he pulls out the raid suit and Queen gets a little bit of an erection. He announces that the reason he got those abilities was because of the raid suit, and so he throws it on the ground and destroys it. "I'm not going to lose any more of myself. I'll never belong to Germa." Queen, in reaction, lets out his feelings about being blue-balled. Sanji says a final farewell to Germa and pulls out a Dendemushi to call Zoro. "Yo bro, we're going to beat the beast pirates, right?" Yeah, obviously. After the dust settles, if I'm no longer myself, I want you to kill me." "Nigga, what?" "Alright bro, but you better not die until then. Thanks," he says, and he hangs the phone up. Then see, in chapter 1033, Queen gets up laughing. Maybe that attack didn't do much. We'll see later. But we're skipping past this because this is just a lore drop. We go into the next chapter, and that is where the finale starts. Queen lets off an attack named Sparking Queen, which has a striking resemblance to Sparking Valkyrie that Ichiji uses. In the air, as Sanji is thinking back to what Ichiji did, Queen hits him in the air with Henry Queen. Apparently, Queen had been hiding all these powers the entire war because he wanted to use them against the raid suit. He uses Winch Queen on Sanji, but out of nowhere, without Queen even realizing it, Sanji kicks bro's arm off. Sanji gets up, then kicks bro in the stomach. And for the first time in the entire fight, Queen is yelling out in pain. Sanji is actually doing lasting damage on the man. Apparently, Queen had been faking him being unharmed. In reality, ever since the Hell Memories, heck, even all the way back to the grill shot, bro has been taking damage. Then suddenly, Queen just vanishes, telling Sanji that this is his technique. But Sanji says, "Two can play that game," and disappears. Queen acknowledges that this is indeed just pure speed, allowing him to perception blitz him. He's going to wait for Sanji to come back, but then suddenly the same geisha, her name is Osame pulls up looking for a rat. Queen notices her and is like, "Damn, didn't I beat this girl up earlier? Why is she still here?" Nah, here's round 2. I have more tools at my disposal now. A sturdy exoskeleton, enhanced strength, and super speed. I'll make use of all of them. If I pair the exoskeleton with my armament hockey training, my legs should be able to stand flames much harder than before. Ifrit, Jambe. Sanji yells out that he understands what happened. Instead of Sanji attacking Osame without him realizing, it was Queen going invisible. And so he kicks Queen to the ground, and then he lets off the most lethal combo known to man. Tells Queen to go fly, and lets off a final attack. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's June now, so I'll be more active with videos than I was in May, but not too active since I have seen your activities. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.